So let me tell you the fucking potential for this blessing. If that's going on at one fucking place where I'm indoors eating fucking food today, what the fuck are they doing? Are they downloading a virus? Is there some sort of comprehensive virus that is being downloaded in the areas that are impacted by this cold wave? Because this is not a natural weather phenomenon. It's not even about global change. This isn't about climate change. And I recognize that. Okay, so in some ways, I'm not really upset about the electricity being off and even the internet being off. In some ways, it might be a blessing. We might be being spared a particular kind of concentrated implantation that's happening with whatever they're doing with the network, right? This may well be the case, but it's bringing up a very real, situation, which is that nobody's talked about what has been happening with these things. They're setting somebody's downloading some stuff in order to try to trigger unrest. And the more you try to make some bullshit thing up about, well, it's supposed to be confidential, the more it's a setup. If you think that people need to be stimulated or motivated in order to assert their rights in the course of being oppressed, or if you think that your country has been infiltrated, and in the course of being infiltrated, it's necessary for us to come together and to evict the invaders who would be trying to engage in deceit and deception in order to try to mire people through vice and enticement into acquiescence, or allow for such an egregious insult upon their morality that they are either consciously or unconsciously engaged in acts of violent expression to the affront. And this is how I understand it. When they stream this child porn, on one level, consciously or unconsciously, there are people that are excitated to a violent expression because it is that offensive to them. And it begs the question of who is telling you to be calm and behave? What kind of people are not affronted by this? The thing is if you keep doing this and you don't allow for a correction or a deterrent, you're going to unleash a kind of vitriol that you will not be able to control. The affront is that severe. When you get people past the point where they're sex terrorized or shamed, and they're able to stand still enough to channel it, what happens when someone or somehow, what happens with the accrual of the refusal to, let's put it this way, what happens with the accrual of the refusal to impeach Mike Pence? Just so you know, what are you going to do about this? That's what's coming. You missed your chance if you're in the Congress or the Senate where you thought you were somebody that was justified in acting out like you did. Whatever you're posting today is completely unacceptable. And you refuse to actually take the means necessary to protect yourself. I mean, I'm acknowledging. You'll figure out when you're done trying to sabotage what otherwise could have been protection for the people. But in the course of whatever you are doing with this alleged capacity to respond, it's actually very apparent what you're doing. I saw you're doing right now, which would happen in Venezuela. You're doing that. It takes a while to actually materialize, but that's what's being set up. That's not acceptable. You guys should have learned your lesson last summer.